Malaysia's caretaker Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob says that the country's 15th general election will still proceed even if several states refuse to dissolve their legislative assemblies. Now, the leader reiterated his call for concurrent state and federal polls, but noted every state has the right to dissolve its legislative assembly at any time. Now, that's as reports indicate that the largest opposition coalition, Pakatan Harapan, may not dissolve their assemblies to hold concurrent state and federal polls. Malaysian Islamic party PAS had decided just yesterday that the three states under its control, Kedah, Kelantan and Terengganu, will not dissolve their assemblies. And it also said that it would stick with its Bersatu partner in the Pakatan Nasional coalition for the upcoming general election. Bersatu has responded, saying it appreciates the decision to continue strengthening cooperation. Afifa Arifin joins us live now from Kuala Lumpur for more on this story. Afifa, good evening. And as we understand it, there is an indication that more opposition parties might not dissolve their state assemblies ahead of GE15. Now, we've already heard from PAS. They've decided not to do so either. Could this have an impact, though, on the upcoming general elections as and when they're called?
Well, we've already heard that Prime Minister Ismail Sabri said that the general election will still proceed even if several states refuse to dissolve their respective state assemblies. Now, this, even though he had strongly suggested when making the announcement that the dissolution of the state assemblies and parliament should be done at the same time. But traditionally in Malaysia, we know that both the state and federal elections run simultaneously after their 5-year term ends. And as we saw in the 14th general elections back in 2018, all of the state assemblies except Sarawak were dissolved together with parliament. But state assemblies have the right to complete their terms, and this time round, as the 5-year term only ends next year, states can opt to dissolve their assemblies now, which is earlier, or they can also choose to complete the term and have the state elections this year. And what all of this means is that essentially we will still see separate state elections next year, and the concerns around this is that, one, this will incur additional costs. Analysts are saying that it could cost the government up to R500 million. And also, voters would have to come up for a second time next year to vote for their state assemblyman. And this is done at a time when voter apathy is already at an all-time high. So all of these considerations, all of these issues are things that are currently being debated by the Pakatan Harapan coalition in deciding whether or not to dissolve the Penang State Assembly now.
Afifa, take us through some of the jockeying that's going on right now insofar as coalition politics is concerned. What kind of alliances are we seeing ahead of the general elections?
Well, as it stands, we'll have three main coalitions going into this election: Barisan Nasional against Pakatan Harapan, as well as Perikatan Nasional and some other smaller parties as well. But yesterday, Islamic party PAS, who, as we know, have been quite friendly with UMNO, have said that it's chosen to strengthen its ties with Perikatan Nasional going into this election. But earlier today, PAS also said that it remains open to working with other parties and that it is not rejecting UMNO. Of course, Barisan Nasional's chairman as well as UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi has come out to say clearly that Barisan Nasional will be going into this election solo. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all of these alliances shape up as we go into this election. We know that electoral pacts are still being formed as we speak, especially among the opposition parties who are trying to pool resources and avoid multi-cornered fights as they want to, present a united front and fight a very united Barisan Nasional coalition.
There may still be changes to come in the days ahead. Afifa, thank you very much for that update. Afifa Arifin there reporting from Kuala Lumpur.